6 Research-Based Guidelines for Achieving and Sustaining Organisational Change by David Wilkinson from the Oxford Review. Hi, I'm David Wilkinson. I'm the editor of the Oxford Review. And in this video, we're going to have a quick look at a study that's just been published in the Journal of Health Organisation Management. Now, this particular study, what they wanted to do was to try to find an overarching roadmap or a model for organisational change for their own organisation. But what they actually found was that there was no one model. When they had a look at all of the research, and they did a meta-analysis of hundreds of pieces of research, what they found was that there was no one model or process of organisational change that works consistently and reliably across different organisations and situations. What they did, however, find is 6 principles or guidelines to consider when planning organisational change, and they're incredibly useful. So the first principle is to align the vision and the action. So understanding the why makes a significant positive impact and enables everyone to work with the change and integrate it into their routines. The second principle is to take baby steps. You make incremental changes rather than wholesale changes, and that way that you can actually nudge things along. So if something doesn't quite work or isn't quite going in the direction that you want it to, it gives you time to actually start to nudge it in the direction that you want or make the corrections that you want. The problem is, what they found is with wholesale organisational change, where they change everything at once, it's just overwhelming and it's very difficult to actually put it to where you want it to go. The third principle is fostering what they call distributed leadership. Now, leadership for change shouldn't solely come from the top, but should be brought about by all of those in management. Now, what we're talking about here, and the definition of distributed leadership, are activities that are tied to the core work of the organisation, that are designed by organisational members, and all of them, to influence, and the motivation, knowledge, affect. By affect, we need the emotions, or the practices of other organisational members. So what they're saying here is that the leadership just shouldn't depend on the top leadership, is that everybody in a management position should also be a change leader. The fourth principle is promoting staff engagement. The intention here is to engage the staff positively in the change and the need for the change, using their ideas and understanding to create change and the pressure for change. So we're distributing the leadership and we're also creating engagement. So we need their ideas. What is it that needs changing? Is this change working? Does it help with their job? Fifth is creating collaborative relationships. Now, the researchers found that where there was an increase in collaborative practices, both within and between departments, and that's particularly between departments, getting away from this kind of silo mentality, change tends to embed faster and the staff engage better in the change process. And lastly, you've got to be able to continually assess and learn from the change. The feedback from the continual monitoring helps the leadership nudge and change in the right direction, and importantly, to learn and correct any mistakes. For an example, an envisaged change may start to create problems somewhere in the system, and the monitoring and learning process will highlight problems and success and enable change to be tweaked as we kind of go along. So here's a quick summary. So the 6 principles or guidelines for change are aligning the vision and the action, making incremental changes, fostering distributed leadership, promoting staff engagement, creating collaborative relationships, and continually assessing and learning as you go along with the change. Now, this presentation has been brought to you by the Oxford Review, and the reference is Willis et al. 2016, Sustaining Organisational Culture Change in Health Systems, from the Journal of Health Organisation and Management. Now, if you join the Oxford Review today, you'll get up-to-date research intelligence 1 to 3 times a week. And these are specially hand-chosen pieces of research, specially written so that they're quick and easy to understand. We also provide special reports and the Oxford Review every month, which is crammed full of really useful, up-to-the-date research intelligence. Because we want you to be the person to say to other people, have you read? There's some research about that. And I know there's some research about this. And we want you to be the most up-to-date, impressively well-informed person around. So go to www.oxford-review.com